Hey everybody, Logan here. Are you looking for the ultimate custom PlayStation 4 controller? Yes, I know, PlayStation 4, right? But many people still have PlayStation 4 or they play PS4 games on their PS5. You're going to see me do that in this video. But a lot of people still rely on their PlayStation 4 or, like I said, play their PS4 games on their PlayStation 5, and sometimes they want that PlayStation 4 controller, DualShock 4 controller feeling on whatever they're playing, even on their PS5. But, you know, they're not a big fan of that standard PS4 controller. Well, you know what? I might have an answer for you. This comes from a company called EliteTrix. They reached out to me and said, hey, we've seen all these videos that you do. Would you want to take a look at one of ours? And I went, I looked at their website. We're actually going to take a look at their website in just a minute so I can show you a couple of the options that I had to choose from and what is available and why I chose what I chose. And that is this one right here. And that is the FPS Firefly. Yeah. So this is one of their highest end offerings of pre-built controllers. So what I did is I built one of my own and then found that, well, I pretty much built this one. So they said, all right, we'll send you this one. Yes, I know it kind of looks a little interesting because, hey, where are the shapes and everything on the buttons and whatnot? Yeah, we're going to take a closer look. And I bet you're wondering, hey, don't you normally unbox these? Well, a little bit of a different story on that. We're going to take a closer look and I'm going to tell you my experience because I've already tested it out. I wanted to give you a much more of an in-depth perspective on this controller instead of just unboxing. So let's take a closer look and maybe you'll decide whether or not this is worth it for you. I got some positive and some negative things to say, but I think you'll enjoy this video. Here we go. Let's take a look at this controller. I bet you're wondering, hey, why are you wearing gloves? Well, you'll see in just a moment. So, just taking a look at this controller, you can see that they use the standard PS4 DualShock as the base, which is completely fine. So, before we get into all the positives about it, I'm going to get the very few negative things that I experienced out of the way. And it's probably just pretty obvious at this point. There's only a couple things that I'm not a big fan of. The matte finish gets the hand goobies all over it. So if the oil's on your hands, it tends to stick to it. Same thing with the ultra glossy touchpad. Now you know why I'm wearing the gloves. There's no symbols on the buttons. That's fine for most people. Well, for some people. It's fine for me because I've been playing PlayStation for so long. It's already in my head. But for newer gamers, it might be an issue. Otherwise, that's about it. So if you look at the body, it's a standard all-around DualShock 4. So there's no problem there. Really, the only issue with the controller that I had right out of the box was the paint job. That's the only thing. I'm not a big fan of the matte finish that gets all the oils on it, but that's my only complaint. I'm going to tell you a lot of things about this controller. So this is the packaging. Very simple. It just comes shipped in a box with all the right packaging to keep it from getting damaged or anything. These are little buttons, protectors that they put on there. Sorry. These go around the sticks, and these protect the buttons during shipping, these little foam things, so that you don't have to worry about. Now, let's take a look at what it says right here. There's not much. This is their label that comes on, and it tells you what's actually here. PS4 controller, digital switches, smart bumpers, smart triggers, remap chip, back paddles, Type-C port, design shell, higher share option, item count 9, for a total of $320. Yes, that's gonna be a drawback for some people. It might be a little too pricey for what the average, I guess you could say, gamer wants to pay, but this is for the hardcore competitive gamer. This is the FPS one. Like I said, this is the one I chose because of, well, the functionality and the games that I've been playing as of late, I thought this could help. So if you look at it, you have a couple of added on features. Just by looking at the front, you really don't see them, but you got to listen. Everything is mechanical. Every button is mechanical. Now, the PlayStation D-pad is usually one solid piece. Here it's separated into 4 individual clickable buttons. That to me is a massive plus. Now, one thing that a lot of controllers don't do out there is give you mechanical buttons for every face and shoulder button. Sometimes they'll leave these as membrane or not a mechanical trigger, or only put on the trigger locks are mechanical in the full press. You don't need trigger locks because these already have a very short pull. You see that? Very short. You can't even see it, but it's a very short mechanical pull, and that is fantastic, especially for the first-person shooters. Now, each of these buttons on the back can be mapped to whatever you would like. They do have other options where you can put less, or you can put 2 on one side, none on the other. They have a number of different options. We'll look at that in a moment. So you can see where everything was customized. They took off the label here. They have their own screw protectors right there. And then those are the paddles for the back. So what I did is I mapped them, basically the 4 face buttons, to those buttons as I was playing. Now, one thing I did notice on the website is it says use the touchpad to map, but it's not. You're going to use the home button to map. You turn it on that way, so that lights up, and then you hold this for 3 seconds. Boom. That's going to be your program light. And then you hold one of the back paddles and then press whatever button you want, and then it'll flash, and then it is mapped. Now on the screen, you won't see anything. It's just going to act like a normal controller. Depending on the game that you're playing, you will see, well, the buttons act in corresponding to how you've mapped them. And that's one thing I did not have any problem with. I thought that was a fantastic addition. Now, if you look at the bottom, you still have your headset jack. The one thing that I think is a big plus is it's now Type-C. So they change it out to a Type-C connector. That's one of the reasons I was using it on my PS5 instead of my PS4. That, and I do not have a PS4 that is connected at the time. So I was like, let me boot up my PS4 games on my PS5. Boom. They play better on my PS5 Pro, and then I can use this just like I would, say, my DualSense Edge or anything like that with those games. Now, it does not work with PS5 games. It will work with your PlayStation 5 if you're using it in the menus or you're using PS4 games. But this will not work with PS5 games because your PlayStation 5 will recognize it as a DualShock 4 and tell you cannot use it with PlayStation 5 games. So keep that in mind. And if you're using it on PC like you would a DualShock 4, you can do that as well. But we're not covering PC here, we're covering the PlayStation. So that is an awesome functionality. It's really hard to find a company that will make all these buttons mechanical and do it at a fairly decent price. I've looked, there are other companies, I'm not going to say them because I don't want to throw them under the bus, that they would do the same thing. There was one that I was looking at probably in February of this year of 2024. Well, depending on when you're watching this is being recorded in December of 2024. Back in February, I checked out a company and they wanted $350 to $400 to make a custom PlayStation 4 controller with all mechanical buttons with these in the back and a standard red paint job. So when I saw that this company was doing all this for about $50 to $100 less, depending on the model, I was like, okay, that sounds a bit more interesting. So I think overall I've been enjoying my usage of this controller. And now let's go take a look at their website so I can show you a bit more of what they have to offer. This is not a paid video. They didn't pay me to do anything, just so you know. But I thought by showing you their website, you can get a bit more of an understanding of what they offer and whether or not it's right for you. Okay, let's take a look at the website just to get a little more information to clarify a number of things that you saw on the sticker and the package. This is their website, EliteTrix.com. As you can see, they have a pre-built section and a custom series section. If you go down, it shows you, all the customizations that they offer, where they can offer the buttons, even they have the dot buttons and the paddle buttons like you saw on mine. There's a ton of stuff that they just offer. I was really taken aback when I saw the options just to customize your controller. And then they have two different designs. When I reached out to them to ask a couple more questions, they told me that they will be doing a PlayStation 5 and Xbox controllers. I can't remember if they said Switch as well. Something tells me with the Switch 2 on the horizon, maybe not, but they did tell me that they're attempting, or they will be doing PlayStation 5 and Xbox in the future. So this is the Firefly and this is the Retro Blaze. I had originally created the Retro Blaze and then they sent me the Firefly after I reached out to them because it was one of the pre-builts. So let me show you the pre-builts. So there is the Pro, FPS Pro Firefly is the one that I showed you in the video. $304. Initial price is $320, but it's $304 because of the work that goes into it. I was a little skeptical about the price at first, but once I dug in a little deeper and saw everything that they added to it, I was like, okay, that's a lot of work for custom. And then I looked at some of those other websites and I saw, oh wow, that prices are actually a bit higher. And then I checked back with the one that I mentioned that I saw in February, and they were significantly higher. So yeah, there's always that. So let's click on here. As you can see, you can pay with PayPal and whatever. They have two color schemes. Now, one thing that I think is rather interesting is the weight that they have on the controllers. Now, one thing they do remove are the rumble actuators in order to get the custom features in it. So as you can see, it goes 8 front buttons at 120 grams, digital switches, L1, R1, L2, R2 are also smart bumpers and triggers, 120 grams, 90 grams, so significantly lighter. Joystick tension, 20% light. Back buttons, 4 remappable buttons, blade caps, so they're not just the little circle buttons that you saw in the other graphic. And it has position B1, B2, B3, and B4, and that's what they reference them there. Share option, high. Charging port, Type-C, fantastic option. And yes, the rumbles are out, so yeah, it's a weight reduction, but it's mainly to get those in there and to get them custom onto the board. The rumbles can't be in there. It takes up a lot of the extra space. They're not designed that way. There are controllers that are designed, of course, if you've used any of the other Pro controllers. So what these do is they take the original shell and customize on top of that. That's why you get the design that you have. So you can keep looking and see. Now, remapping form, yes, you can remap everything to whatever you want. So that's pretty interesting because it shows you can remap those buttons to up, down, left, right, circle, X, square, triangle, L3, R3, L1, R2, L1, R2, L2, R2. There you go. So that's pretty nifty. Yes, these are for high-end controllers, high-end players. Now there are different ones. You got the FPS Lite, you got the FPS Claw, FPS Pro, and yeah, all for the different models you see right here. So depending on which one you want, they range as low as 195 all the way up to 304. There are versions that you can get that still have the rumble in it. So it really depends on what you like. I think these are pretty cool controllers. They are niche, So if you're looking for something like this might be definitely a way to go. I would say check out the website so you can see exactly what they offer and see if it meets your needs. There are a lot of people that want to do a bit more when it comes to customization. So that's when you're going to be paying quite a bit more when you're going to get custom artwork and stuff like that. So this is about functionality over visual aesthetic. So keep that in mind. Now they also have accessories as well. So you can get the case and the cables. That's not bad. $5 for the case. With what they're charging. Okay, having it that low in price, that's nice. So what did you think about the EliteTrix? So they have plenty of options for you to choose from depending on which one you want. Again, this is the one I chose because lately I've been playing a lot more shooters, whether it's third or first, and well, this is just something I needed. So when they reached out to me, I said sure, and you know what? I'm not regretting it. I was very skeptical. Yeah, there are a couple things that I would change, but hey, minor little things. Tell me what you guys think. Have you used any of these controllers before? Have you checked out EliteTrix yet? Well, drop it in the comment section below. Tell me if you have. Let me know. Or if you plan on picking up one of these controllers. Again, let me know. I definitely want to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. God bless you all. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.